Yokoso, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the GeForce Now Thursday Chat. And not just any chat. GeForce Now is celebrating 3 years of GeForce Now. Look. Oh, I haven't got my thing on. It really is. Let me just get the news on there. I had to restart the... there we go. Look at that. Lovely. Yeah, celebrating 3 years of GeForce Now, ladies and gentlemen. And this 3 years is 3 years since it sort of left its invite-only beta stage, which I seem to recall. That was back in the day, obviously, when every game was available on GeForce Now in that kind of invite-only beta stage. And then when they opened it up, that was 3 years ago. And now look where we are, ladies and gentlemen. 700 million plus hours of streaming later. 50 plus games there with RTX on. Picture of Cyberpunk there, which I've got some clips of that, what that looks like. And over 1,500 plus games to play, ladies and gentlemen. So pretty impressive. We're going to be looking at all of that. Plus, hey, it's GeForce Thursday. So there must be games, and there are games, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll be looking at all the games as well and all the news. I hope you're good. I hope you are well. As ever, you know what to do. Let's know what games you've been playing. And all of that, it is much, much appreciated. Put it in the chat. Say hello. Don't be shy. Yeah. And welcome. Welcome. And of course, a bit of housekeeping. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on catch up, it doesn't matter. Hit the likes because I like it. YouTube likes it. And it helps people like you find brilliant content like this. So a quick shout out there to Victor's in the house. Hello, Victor. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Welcome to the GeForce Now show. So as I said, yeah, let's go to the blog quickly and you'll see. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 3 cheers. GeForce Now Thursday celebrates the 3rd anniversary with 25 new games. Yeah, 25 new games, ladies and gentlemen. 9 of which, I seem to recall, are available sort of now over the next couple of days. So this week, basically. And to celebrate, if you are a fan of Dying Light 2, you can get some exclusives there, some free... where is it? Here we go. The anniversary celebration wouldn't be complete without giving back the community. Starting next week, GeForce Now members could score free Dying Light 2 rewards. A new outfit dubbed Post-Apo, complete with rough duster, bleak pants, trousers, well-worn boots, tattered leather gauntlets, dystopian mask, and spiked braces to scavenge around and parkour in. There we go. And there'll be some other stuff over the next kind of few weeks. I have not really played Dying Light. So there you go. But yeah, lots of stuff to get into and all of that. Now, before we get into the news, let's hello to Torres, who's of course listening. Let me go back to the studio. There we go. Torres is listening. Of course he's listening. Before we get into the news, let's have some little minor news here. And some of this is sort of Stadia related, oddly enough. There was a shout out to both Stefan in Germany and Tartan Trout here for highlighting this. You remember back in the Stadia days? Go back. We used to always sort of check out what was being rated on ESRB or PEGI or whatever it is. So there are 2 things about this which is quite interesting. A, it looks like Heartland, Tom Clancy's Division Heartland, which I assume is going to be available on GeForce Now because it's a free game, free to play. And it would strike me from Ubisoft that it would be. But it's certainly being available for PC. But look there. Look. Obviously, the Stadia Luna is a category of its own, and they haven't relabeled it now to just Luna. Isn't it a bit sad there? It's a bit sad, that, isn't it? So Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland has been rated. Yay! And look, it's been rated for Stadia. But as I said, I think that's because Stadia and Luna, they did a thing last year, I think it was Peggy, where they just lumped them together. So there you go. They obviously haven't changed it back. It's a bit sad, really, isn't it? But, yippee, I'm hoping Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland becomes available to play via GeForce Now. I don't see why it wouldn't. So, and I'm at the moment, I'm sort of, I mean, I have the appetite, I think, for Heartland. It's been in, people have been sort of playing it and testing it behind closed doors for quite a while, actually. So hopefully it will turn out pretty good, and we'll just get like almost like a stealth drop. People are anticipating this was coming out in May, I think. But hopefully they do an Apex Legends and just goes, there you are. Although with Apex Legends, no one even knew they were making it. So that was EA, of course. But anyway, so there you go. Let's check out Clive over in the news studio and catch up on all the news roundup before I continue with a few other little news bites of interest that I think you'll find. Anyway, it's over to Clive in the news studio. Birthday celebrations kick off this week as it's 3 years since GeForce Now left its invite-only beta stage. Since then, GeForce Now's gone on to amass 25 plus million members who've streamed 700 million plus hours from the cloud, enjoying cinematic gameplay from 50 plus titles that take advantage of RTX ON and DLSS, and streamed from an ever-growing library of games that now has over 1,500 titles in it. And they've expanded globally with over 30 data centers and GeForce Now Alliance partners in Japan, Turkey, Latin America, and much, much more. And of course, recently we saw the introduction of the Ultimate membership, powered by the Ada Lovelace architecture, meaning members can stream up to 4K at 120 frames per second, or 1080p at 240 frames per second in NVIDIA Reflex-supported games on these brand new RTX 4080 rigs. And of course, stream at ultra-wide resolutions, which is a first for cloud gaming, as well as experiencing full ray tracing and NVIDIA DLSS in supported games. So, to celebrate, GeForce Now will be providing various goodies to its members starting next week. GeForce Now members can score a free Dying Light 2 reward, with additional rewards for Priority and Ultimate members. And of course, it wouldn't be a GeForce Now Thursday without some games. And this week sees 9 games ready to stream from the platform, including Deliver Us Mars, complete with ray-traced shadows and lighting for out-of-this-world immersive gameplay. So, let's take a look at the games. Raiden IV X MIKADO Remix is a new release on Steam. Buckle up and blast off with Raiden IV X MIKADO Remix. This classic arcade shoot-'em-up comes fully equipped with new music, battle modes, vertical screenplay, and more. This is proper old-school Japanese vertical arcade action. Raiden IV X MIKADO Remix offers the most definitive version of Raiden IV yet seen, compiling a generous suite of modes and arrangements, along with a wealth of new background music by some highly respected names from arcade culture. Created as a collaboration with the esteemed Japanese arcade game center MIKADO, Raiden IV X MIKADO Remix features artists including the Go Sato Band, Heavy Metal Raiden, Daisuke Matsumoto, and Hirakuzu Koshio. And now, after all that Japanese heavy metal, how about something a bit more gentle and laid back? Season, A Letter of the Future, is a new release on Steam and Epic Games Store. And it's a brand new adventure game developed and published by Scavenger Studios. Here you play as Estelle, a young woman who leaves her isolated home for the first time to create a record of the world for the next generation before the mysterious cataclysm wipes everything away. In terms of gameplay, as a woman travelling through the world, Estelle records her experiences in her journal. She can document her sightings by writing, drawing, taking photos, and recording audio and videos. The game also features a lot of extended cycling segments. Critics have praised the story and atmosphere of this game, with Vice describing the world and look of the game as bloody gorgeous. And are you ready for the next one? Hey, what lives in a pineapple under the sea? Yes, it's Spongebob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake, which is a new release on Steam and Epic Games Store. Wish-granting mermaids' tears in the hands of Spongebob and Patrick? What could possibly go wrong? Sure, the very fabric holding the very universe together could come very undone, opening up portals into wish worlds full of knights, cowboys, pirates, and prehistoric snails, of course. But that's nothing everyone's favourite sponge can't handle. And with the right cosmic costume, everybody do the Cosmic Shake, because it's all the crazy platform goodness that we've come to expect. You can don more than 30 sponge-tastic costumes like Snail Bob. You can travel to 7 distinct wish worlds like Wild West Jellyfish Fields and Halloween Rock Bottom. Experience all the buddy movie banter with SpongeBob's permanent companion Balloon Patrick. And of course, meet all your favourite characters from the series voiced by the original actors. And there's a brand new soundtrack from the composers of Battle for Bikini Bottom. Super Fuse is a new release on Steam. In this superhero-themed action RPG Super Fuse, you hack and slash hordes of enemies in a comic book-inspired experience with a robust skill tree system that lets you customize your powers and build your own superhero. A far-flung outpost in the galaxy after the Earth has been abandoned by mankind, where you take on the role of an enforcer, humanity's superpowered protectors. You can play as one of 3 classes in the game, being the Berserker, the Elementalist, or the Technomancer, in either single-player campaign or in co-op mode for up to 4 players. Loot and fight your way through the mix of procedurally generated and handcrafted levels in the fully voice-acted story-driven campaign. It didn't seem that long ago that I was delivering the moon, but now that award-winning game gets a sequel in Deliver Us Mars, which is a new release on Steam and Epic Games Store, and it's a day-and-date launch across all platforms, this one. And the developers have turned up everything in this with increased budgets and improved cinematics, and those on Ultimate Tier can enjoy ray trace shadows and lighting for out-of-this-world immersive gameplay. Deliver Us Mars is an atmospheric sci-fi adventure taking you on a suspense-fueled high-stakes mission to recover the Ark colony ship stolen by the mysterious Outward. Perish is a new game on Steam and Epic Games Store, and it's a game to scratch that Doom itch. Perish is a stylish 1-to-4 player FPS with a cross to bear. Slay hordes of creatures on the black sands of purgatory and sell their gold-stained corpses to craven priests. Kill magnificent bosses and use the procedures to gain entrance to Elysium, a place of cosmic revelations. You are Amutri, a corporeal spirit condemned to live a shadow life in the halfway realm of purgatory. Free game now, and it's City of Gangsters, which is free on Epic Games Store from February the 2nd to the 9th, and it's a strategy management game for gangsters. In this management tycoon game, you'll start a criminal operation from nothing and grow it into a well-oiled money machine, build speakeasies and illegal distilleries, manage production chains and resource distribution, leverage favours, chase down debtors, and bribe the police to look the other way. Spellforce Conquest of Io, which is a new release on Steam and Epic Games Store, is a turn-based strategy game. Command mighty heroes and armies and send them on countless quests. Fill your grimoire with spells to grow your power and raise your wizard's tower to become the greatest mage of all time. Conquer Io in this rich, turn-based strategy game set in the world of Spellforce. Become the greatest of mages. From the humble beginnings of your small wizard's tower, send forth your minions and heroes to explore the realms of Io. Grow your influence and power and fill your grimoire with arcane knowledge. Face off against magical competitors in your hunt for ancient artifacts and hidden secrets as you build up your tower and area of influence to unleash the greatest spell the world has ever known. And finally, Immortals Fenyx Rising arrives on Steam, currently being, of course, on Ubisoft. This Ubisoft title is a Breath of the Wild-looking adventure puzzle game set among the Greek gods and has been out for a while now, as I said, on Ubisoft. So there you go. That's the GeForce Now Thursday news for this week. Happy birthday, GeForce Now. And it's back to Clive in the studio. Thanks, Clive. Thank you for that. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. An interesting selection of games. I always find with GeForce Now, obviously, because a lot of Steam games there are a lot of what I would deem, you know, PC games. So a lot of those sort of management games, strategy games. You know, they lend themselves much more to PC than, say, a console, even though, they sometimes it'll appear on console. But obviously, I think the big one out of that is probably Deliver Us the Moon. Deliver Us Mars there is obviously the big title, I would say. Now, Deliver Us the Moon was quite good. I enjoyed it, although I got a bit discombobulated, a bit confused. There was a bit where you're sort of gravity free and you're not sure whether your up is up or your down is down, and you're having to go through doors and stuff, and it's like a sort of maze type thing, and it started to do my brain in a bit. I got a bit confused. I like terra firma. I like to know up is up and down is down, but it was getting really confusing because obviously you're floating about and you have to go through different doors and work out how to get through to the next kind of place, and I got a bit kind of but anyway, the thing about Deliver Us the Moon is it was done at quite a low budget, relatively speaking, and I think they really upped the ante. Originally it was published by Wired Productions, so it's Kyoken Interactive Games, and Deliver Us the Moon was published by Wired Productions, whereas I'll just go to the down here, you'll see Wired Productions, whereas Deliver Us to Mars, the publisher is Frontier Developments. And I also seem to recall that Kyoken worked with someone else on the game who sort of specializes in kind of cinematic cutscenes. So I think they basically upped the ante on it, really, in terms of the cutscenes and the kind of graphical fidelity and stuff like that. So it will be interesting to see what it's like. I think basically they've upped the ante. They've taken it and turned it up to 11. So it'll be very interesting to see. But that, for me, is probably the highlight of that bunch. But let me know in the chat, if we just have a look here. If I highlight them there. So this is what's coming over the next week. So some of these are available already. But let me know which games are of interest to you. Are you a sort of strategy, real-time strategy type person? Are you into those management games? Immortals Fenyx Rising has been available on Ubisoft already, so it's just coming to Steam, like quite a number of Ubisoft games ending up on Steam. Spongebob SquarePants, great platformer, a really good platformer in the you know, if you are a fan of the kind of Mario 64, it's really well done platform, and there's some really imaginative, certainly on the previous game, clever things. And A Season, A Letter for the Future, to me, strikes me as a bit like Lake. That's what it was called, wasn't it? Lake. Kind of a bit more laid back, even though the world is about to be destroyed. A bit more laid back. And Raiden IV versus MIKADO. I kept calling it MIKADO. I think it's MIKADO. I had a friend once, years and years ago, when I was in the games industry. He was a games producer, and he was mad into those side-scrolling and vertical, scrolling Japanese arcade games that just kind of full on in your face and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see. They've kind of really upped the ante on that again, and loads of different modes available and things like that. But anyway, in the chat, let me know which of these games that you're in particularly interested in. 25 games exactly, Torres. We'll come to the other games that are coming in February, because there is a whole bunch. I will be doing a separate video on all the games coming in February. Oh no, Internet of Games. He's attending a class tonight. Okay. Happy birthday, GFN. Indeed. Indeed. Right. Quickly, look. Other sort of slightly sad news. Where is it? Right. Bear with me. Let's have a quick look, actually. Cyberpunk. So this is Cyberpunk. If you've got the ultimate tier, you can DLSS 3, RTX on, and this is quite a good video. Look, should I show it in? Let me just. I'm showing it at 1080 at the moment, so bear with, just because I'm streaming it. But it's a good reflection of the difference it makes, and I think even compressed through this particular stream, you can see a difference. I've never really noticed how, 45 frames per second. The game always struggled. It may just goes to show how good it was on Stadia. It was never got down to 40 odd frames per second on Stadia, I'm sure, in the performance mode. But anyway, the point is, look at the difference. You're getting 130 frames per second there. So that's just a quick example of how, Cyberpunk with DLSS 3 turned on and all of that is pretty impressive. Now, the thing I just wanted to talk about, and I've lost the thing, is, again, it's about another one about an old... I'll find it here. Here we go, look. So, Crater, which is available on Steam, I think, so it should be... I think it's available on GeForce Now as well. Unit 2 Games to shutter Crater. The developer attributes the decision to Google Stadia shutting down. Yeah, blame Stadia. But ironic enough, Stadia gave it its life. But obviously not enough people on other platforms picked it up. But those who don't know Crater, it was meant to be a bit like sort of Fortnite meets Roblox, where you could build out your own games. But instead of them being blocky like you get in Roblox, it had more akin with Fortnite in its look, and you could just see by the characters and stuff. And it launched on Stadia, and it was a great concept because you could build the games and then sort of share those games and stuff like that. And they put on cash prize competitions each month and awarded the sort of the most popular game. And, even people within the community won money off this, creating great, simple games. Almost learning to program. And you could either, just do drag and drop and build the game, or you could go in and virtually code the game. That was a great thing. So it had real potential because you'd hoped, Roblox is massive. You'd hope it would sort of get to the scale of Roblox where there are, just so many games. And suddenly one game becomes hundreds, thousands. My son and his mates, for a laugh, play Roblox games now and then. When they're bored of Counter-Strike, they go and find a Counter-Strike equivalent in Roblox, and they have a great laugh. So, yeah, it's sad. Crater getting shut down. Unit 2 Games has announced that its free-to-play game creation and sharing tool, Crater, will shut down on March the 3rd. Back in 2020, the title launched on Google Stadia. And in March 2021, it joined the Epic Game Store. So it wasn't on Steam, the Epic Game Store. While we've expanded Crater significantly, and they added loads of stuff to it. Characters, building stuff, blocks, loads of stuff. And then that's it. Stadia's getting the blame in this article. The developer attributes the decision to Google Stadia shutting down, where the irony is they were bought out by Meta, by Facebook. Google Stadia shut its doors recently, which was the initial launch platform for creators, so we've decided now is the right time to bring things to a close, despite the dedicated efforts of our team and community. Meta, at the time, Facebook, of course, acquired Unit 2 Games in 2021. The idea, I guess, you know, Facebook, Meta, maybe to get them to build out games like this in the metaverse. Additionally, the game studio said it still exists and will share news about its next project later. Creators closing follows a number of titles that have been announced for shuttering. Actually, look, yeah. In other news, Apex Legends Mobile, there was a big article about this. EA shuttering Apex Legends Mobile. And part of the reason behind that, Apex Legends Mobile, is that they never really linked it with the main Apex Legends. It was sort of independent. And people, you know, mobile game players want to be able to play, ironically enough, with PC players and everybody else, cross-platform. That was one of the things EA kind of, you know, said. That's what they didn't do properly. Anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about poor old Crater shutting down. Let me know in the chat, did you ever play Crater? I had grand ambitions. I thought, oh, I've got an idea for a game. I'm going to build this out. But as ever, my ambitions are always sort of ambitious. And I didn't really have the knowledge. And I found it a bit confusing. I made it, you know, it's something you just need to spend time at building. Start something simple, like loads of people in the community did. Create something really simple and then build out from there. Don't go for, you know, Call of Duty straight out of the box. Go for something, you know, nice and simple. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that. That's a little bit sad that that's closing down. The other thing I want to mention is there is this Saturday to celebrate. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. To celebrate the anniversary, there is planned to have a community stream. If I can just find it. Maybe it's under his cloud dosage. Bear with me. So this weekend on Saturday, loads of people within the community are going to be streaming games and stuff like that, all on GeForce Now, as part of a celebration of GeForce Now being 3 years old. Here we go. I knew I'd find it. So, shout out to this. Lord Kensal will be streaming on Saturday. Creator group of CGTV's hosting a birthday bash for GeForce Now third year of service via 24 hours of streamed content. If you wish to participate, you can join in. GeForce Now 3-year birthday bash. Collab Gaming TV. So, I will be streaming, or Lord Kensal will be streaming, so definitely come along and say hello. I think I'm down for like 1 p.m. UK time on Saturday. Come and check it out. But we used to do that within the Stadia community. Sometimes we used to have Stadia all weekend kind of sessions. I remember I followed Colour TV. He had about 50 subscribers. No, he followed me. I can't remember. Anyway, he had about 50 subscribers at the time, and now look at him. He's a legend. He's a legend. Because I remember him getting so excited. All these kind of followers jumped on after they'd watched my stream. Not that many, but when you're at that level, it's like, wow. And then look at him now. He's a legend in the world of Red Dead Redemption, of course. Made headlines. With Stadia closing and him Take-Two coming in and rescuing his Red Dead Redemption progress and all of that. So there we go. Anyway, come and join the fun. Creator shut down has nothing to do with Stadia. Facebook bought it in 2021. Stadia shut down in Jan. Yeah. I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but as soon as I read that title, those old memories of like bad-mouthing Stadia at any chance came in, you know. Although it's the developer saying, you know, if Facebook aren't that bothered about it, maybe Facebook saying, you know, we want you to concentrate on our new project, whatever it is. Creator was up against Minecraft and Roblox. He stood no chance. Yeah, it was ambitious. It was ambitious. Not enough marketing. Well, that's the thing. I think if you are up against something like Minecraft and Roblox, I mean, kids really into Roblox. And I think they relate to the simplicity of the almost like, dare I say, the Lego minifigure type things in it. Although you would have thought on paper, the potential of having a kind of, it looked like Fortnite. So be able to build games out. Ironically enough, Fortnite's got its own creative thing and people make stuff in that. So any news from LG TV land? I've not seen an update yet, MJ, on my LG, although I haven't fired up GeForce Now on the LG. But normally when I just turn the TV on, if there's an update to the app, it'll say, oh, there's an update. So nothing yet. Nothing yet. But as ever, watch this space, as they say. Anyway, so that is the 3-year bash. Come and join us. Why not? Let's go back to the studio. Right. So upcoming in February as well, not only those 9 games that Clive talked about in the new studio there, but there's a whole 18 more games, 9 of which are new, including some of the ones that are in we just listed. We have Dark and Darker. If I highlight it, it wants me to do that. Let's just take that. Hopefully you can see that. Anyway, Dark and Darker, which is a playtest. Labyrinth of Galleria, The Moon Society, Wanted Dead. I don't know a lot of these games. Elderland, Wild West Dynasty. I did have a quick look at this game, Wild West Dynasty. It's like a kind of... If you're familiar with Medieval Dynasty, it's that, but set in the Wild West. Yeah, it's not... Let's have a look at the gameplay. It's not Red Dead Redemption in any shape. I think you settle and build. Let's try and get some gameplay stuff. Yeah, so there's kind of building in it, and you sort of settle and build up your Wild West Dynasty and stuff like that. So it's an open world survival Western game like Red Dead Redemption. Wild West Dynasty gameplay trailer and game reveal from the makers of Medieval Dynasty. New games coming in 2022. Well, it's going to be available to play on GeForce Now. Now, unless there's shooting. Look, you'll see it cuts here to Medieval Dynasty. At first, I thought they're an odd-looking cowboy, but it's gone all Medieval Dynasty on here. That is not the nature of the game, just so you know. Let's go back to the titles. So, yeah, Wild West Dynasty there. The Settlers, New Allies. Now, Atomic Heart is obviously the big one, and that's coming with full... If you've got the ultimate tier on GeForce Now Ultimate, you're going to be able to turn everything up on Atomic Heart. It's got DLSS 3, it's got RTX on, all of that stuff. So it should look really good. Of course, it is going to be available on Game Pass as well. So you could always try it on Game Pass. Although, you know, if you don't have Game Pass, then maybe get it and play it on GeForce Now. With the ability, especially if you've got the top tier, to ramp stuff up. So there you go. No Hogwarts. No time. No time, Pete. No. Yeah, curious to see if Shield TV gets an update. I don't think it can get an update to deliver what it needs to deliver. So I think they'd have to announce a new version. And I'm not sure they would when you could build out an app. I don't know. I'm in two minds. Cloudbuster says Atomic Heart is the only one I'm excited for. To be honest, so we've got Atomic Heart, Chef Life, Blood Bowl 3, Scars Above, Heads Will Roll Reforged, Above Snakes. Above Snakes? What? Check that one out. They've all got the same sort of palette, a lot of these games, haven't they? See how the world is created by placing isometric tiles. Check out exploration, crafting. Again, it's a very PC, build out a world type game. Look, building. So PC. Across the Obelisk, Captain of Industry, Cartel Tycoon, Ember Knights, Inside the Backrooms, and Simrail, the railway simulator. So yeah, Atomic Heart, RTX On is the big one. And there was exclusive gameplay reveal here. Look at that. Look at the reflections there. So I think if you really want a good looking version, I mean, it should look good on the Xbox Series X, if you, as I say, but look at that shiny floor. So it should be interesting. You know, and it's going to play super fast. It's going to look really good. Yeah. So it might be worth a shout playing it, especially because it looks quite twitchy. You know, a bit like Doom in the kind of the speed and the twitchiness of there. Look at the raindrops on the window and everything. It's gonna be compressed on this stream, but what I'm looking at looks pretty mighty, and I'm only showing it. Yeah, look, I'll put it in 4K. It'll look even better. So this could be a real good game to show off the power of RTX and all of that. I must just go back there. Victor was asking, is it worth it? And he's got a Samsung S21 5G, some Nreal AR glasses for my cloud computing game setup. Will NVIDIA Ultimate be worth the extra expense? I think so. I would say try it for a month. If you're mostly going to be playing on your mobile S21, I mean, presumably that's got like a 120 hertz screen. It's it's the flagship. I'd give it a go. Why not give it a go for? I mean, I think the best experience is on a big screen or PC or whatever like that. But if you've got a flagship phone that's got like 120 hertz refresh screen and all that kind of stuff, hey, give it a go. Why not? Is what I would say, Victor. Give it a go for a month, see what it looks like. But I'm telling you, it's so slick. When I play GeForce Now and the Ultimate tier on this PC here, it's so slick and so fast. It's impressive. And some of the comments that I get on the video I did on my review of the 4080 tier were exactly like that. That the people you're getting, it is like you're not playing in the cloud. There are moments like I get a bit of stutter. Very, very rarely. If something's happening in the house, whatever, because the recommended is about 45 megabits per second internet. And I average between 50 and 60. So normally it's absolutely fine. It's within that threshold. It's absolutely fine. But if my kids are doing something crazy in the house, occasionally I might get a stutter. But when I'm on my own, I tell you what, it is super fast. It is super slick. I highly, highly recommend it. If you've not tried it, try it for a month. If you've got a decent screen and all of that, it's really good. And now I say I've configured the Stadia controllers. I've gone Bluetooth. And I don't even notice now. I wasn't a great fan of playing with a Bluetooth controller. I much prefer playing wired. But the speed of the 4080 tier now, I don't notice at all the difference now between playing Bluetooth or playing wired. Like I talked about last week, how if you're below a certain, there's like a Rubicon, a point where any extra delay, you notice it. But if you're below it and there's slightly extra delay, it's so fast that you don't notice it. But there comes a point, the delay is already quite high. An incremental delay on that seems much more significant than if you're feeling no delay and there's a slight added delay to it. I'm not making really sense, but there's a line. And for me, the 4080 tier delivers below that line so that you don't notice any difference using a Bluetooth or a wired controller. And for that, I'm really grateful, because it means I can use my beautiful Stadia controllers to play GeForce Now. Why not, ladies and gentlemen? Why not? Let's see what you lot have been saying. One more thing. Let me just get... Yeah, so really, I mean, a lot of games, but for me, it's going to be Atomic Heart is the one of interest. I'll be interested to hear what you say of that list that I showed. Done the bash, done that. I'll come back to the titles and you can see them flying by, and we'll just see what you've been saying in the Shield TV. What update does it need? It's fine as it is. We want a new Shield portable with a 120 hertz screen. Yeah, this thing, it doesn't give you the full benefits of the 4080 tier. That's why it needs an update. That's why people sort of would claim it needs an update, Cloudbusters. 4K 60 HDR is okay. You just need 120 hertz. Exactly. And I think that's what people want to see. Now, you know, if you've got a device, that device was the only way at one point that you could play at 50K 60 frames per second on your TV. You know, that's what made it so good. But now, and that was fine for, you know, what was GeForce Now. But now GeForce Now's Ultimate tier is so good. There's nothing special in having that Shield TV element. So that's why I think people would want to see, you know, an update. So there we go. They're supposedly 4K AR glasses. I'd have to check those out. I think I'll check those out. Played Outriders on Shield Ultimate tier. It looked amazing. Yeah. I think you'll get some upscaling and stuff, because when I played GeForce Now on my LG TV, I assumed it was in 4K. It looked so amazing. But the irony is it's not. It's like 1080p. It's just that the LG TV is upscaling it and giving it extra polish and shine. So, yeah. Can't wait until it is 4K. Hurry up, LG. Pull your finger out. Battlefield is pretty slick too. Nice and fast. Yeah, that was my experience playing Fortnite, Battlefield. I found really responsive. Played on my Pixel phone at 120 hertz. Amazing. So Victor, there you go. If your S21, and I think it is 120 hertz odd, maybe it's worth giving it a go. Yeah. David Handley, I tell you what, I'm a convert. I am a convert. I tried it during its beta stage and I thought, yeah, it's all right, but like, hey, it's not a scratch on Stadia for my experience at the time. then people saying, no, it's really good. It's really good. And I thought, yeah, I'm not into PC gaming and all of that. I just made excuses not really to try. I wasn't that bothered. And why should I? I was quite happy in the bubble that I was playing, enjoying the games on Stadia and stuff like that. The fact that the closure of Stadia forced me to look further afield, and I had the opportunity to try the 3080 as was tier, and it blew me away. And I thought, okay. And then also the fact that it wasn't as complicated as I thought, you know, like having to sign into Steam or Epic or whatever, that, you know, they'd made the effort to make that slightly more seamless, make that entry into a game more kind of platform console like. So that really kind of helped as well, because it wasn't like that at the beginning, and it felt like a PC gaming experience, which I'm not a PC gamer. So now, and then the 4080, I'm totally blown away. So yeah, I absolutely get where you're coming from there, David. Played some CSGO for the first minute or two. I thought I was playing native. Exactly, the 4080 tier. When I was testing it out, I tested out Fortnite, and I never play Fortnite. I don't know how to build. Like I said before, I have to look down at the controller. Yeah, it's not a game I play instinctively. My first game, I got second, and then I was getting victory. I got a victory royale after that. Well, my son came and jumped on, and then we got 2 in a row. It's like, oh my God. Even, playing Apex Legends, which I used to play on the Xbox One, it felt like that. They used to say the PC master race, saying, once you've gone PC, you can never, the difference between console and PC is massive. And back in the day, absolutely, I would say Xbox One, as was, and the PC, miles apart. Now I understand it. I think that's narrowed slightly, but then again, you see what Atomic Heart looks like with RTX On and stuff. It's pretty impressive. But playing Apex Legends, it just felt so quick and slick. When I used to watch Dr. Disrespect play, everything's moving so quick. Now, obviously, he's playing on a 10 grand, gaming PC, whatever. And I want that kind of fast, slick experience. And you get that to a certain degree with the 4080 tier. I'll be traveling with the above setup. I've got to bring my Stadia controller. If you're a casual player, probably the best to pay £1 for Game Pass, or else you're paying Steam, Vidiva, and to play it. Yeah, like I don't buy many PC games. I bought some in the sale over Christmas because I don't like, as I say, if you have an extensive PC library, then I'd say GeForce Now is a no-brainer at priority level. It's a no-brainer, and at ultimate level, if you've got a decent screen and you really want to showcase it, absolutely. But I didn't really have any PC games. I was loath PC games on my PC. But over Christmas, experiencing and enjoying GeForce Now, I made sure I claimed as many of the Epic games that were given away over Christmas. Not all of them available on GeForce Now, but some of them were. Death Stranding, stuff like that. Definitely got that down. I bought a couple of games in the sales. Thanks to the Stadia rebate, I bought some PC games so that I can play specifically on GeForce Now, because I quite enjoy that experience when I'm sitting here. In fact, when I think about it, that and Boostroid are the only... I suppose I could play xCloud here as well, but I prefer to play that on my big TV with my Xbox Series X. So here, sitting here, I tend to play mostly GeForce Now games. So there we go. Does 4K. Cloud does 4K. I was thinking the Hertz. 4K, yeah, but like you want 4K 120. S21 Ultra. There you go. Wow. You are splashing out there, Victor. Let's have a quick look. So again, while we just summarize here. The GeForce Now release. This is quite good, isn't it? You've got everything for Thursday here. As I say, looking at those, I highly recommend Immortals Phoenix Rising. If you've not played it before, it's going to look amazing on your GeForce Now. Deliver Us Mars, It's going to look amazing. Spongebob will look amazing. If you like platforming, get Spongebob. It's quite challenging, some of the platforming. I'm on a level on the previous Spongebob, which is really difficult. But like a good platforming game, you just keep doing it again, start again. And if you get one thing wrong, one jump wrong, it's like, oh no, back to the beginning. It's sort of annoying and frustrating all at once. And then, of course, as I say, the other big one, Superfuse looks quite interesting. But the other big one is Atomic Heart, of course. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is the GeForce Now news and GeForce Now Thursday chat for another GeForce Now. Loads of games coming up. Good variety. A lot of what I'd say PC type games, obviously. But it's good that we're beginning to get, you know, games like Deliver Us Mars, Atomic Heart coming up. So some nice beefy games. Heartland. The Division Heartland any minute now. Not mentioned in this list here for February, but it's been certified in PEGI, so we know what that usually means. It's coming out any minute now, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see that as well, because I'm in the mood. I've been playing a lot of Warzone DMZ, Call of Duty Warzone DMZ. I'm addicted to that at the moment. Ugh, it's so frustrating. So a game like Heartland or X Defiant, when that comes around, is right up my road. Right up my alley, as they say. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Big thank you to everybody who came and joined us live. Don't forget to hit the likes, because I like it. I do like it. And YouTube likes it. They do like it, because it helps people like you find content like this, get people to the live show, get people to watch it after, you know, on catch up, as they say, and all of that. So big thank you. If you are new here, of course, hit subscribe, toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content just like this. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Enjoy your gaming. Catch up with Lord Kensal and others who will be streaming over the weekend using GeForce Now to celebrate the GeForce Now 3rd anniversary. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. See you Monday if Lord Kensal doesn't see you on Saturday. Enjoy and farewell.